After the Civil War, Taney County and other areas of southwest Missouri were in a devastating state. The economy was in turmoil and society was falling apart. During the Civil War, vigilantes, bushwhackers, and other outlaws were everywhere in Taney County and other surrounding areas. Clans controlled the local sheriff and made the juries rigged so outlaws wouldn't be guilty for the crimes they committed. If a member of the outlaw's family wasn't sitting in the jury to make sure they were declared innocent, they would bribe jury members who would. As a result, between 1865 and 1885, there were over 30 murders in Taney County and not a single person was convicted for the crimes. In 1883, a man by the name of Nathaniel Kinney decided he was going to form a group outside of the state's law enforcement to help stop some of the crimes and murders caused by the vigilantes. Kinney eventually called 12 people together to set up this group. Most of these men were leaders of the county and hoped to make a difference in the crime rate surrounding them. This group was called the Baldknobbers because they would always meet in secret on top of a bald knob. Although the group started out with good intentions and to punish criminals, they eventually got out of hand. The Baldknobbers quickly gained national attention. By April 5, 1885, over 200 people showed up on Snap's Bald for a meeting with the Baldknobbers. Kinney, being an excellent speaker, convinced all the men that arrived there to join the Baldknobbers and swear an oath of secrecy. He also made them swear to keep the identities of the Baldknobbers quiet and to try to recruit more people to join the cause. The first big public act of the Baldknobbers was just a few days after meeting on Snap's Bald. Around 100 men broke into the Taney County Jail and kidnapped two brothers, Frank and Tubal Taylor. The brothers had been jailed for murdering a local store owner, John Dickinson. Since Dickinson was a Baldknobber, the other Baldknobbers decided to take matters into their own hands and hang the Taylor brothers. This major act made 6 of the founding 12 members drop out of the Baldknobbers within the next week. Within just a few months, the Baldknobbers had grown into a large army of 500 to 1,000 men. This group began correcting the lawlessness by riding around at night and intimidating the people they thought had poor moral character by saying if they didn't change, they would be shot or beaten. Their victims included drunks, gamblers, cheating women, wife-beaters, men who didn't support their families, and anyone else they chose not to like. Sometimes their intimidation turned violent. They would hang men for robbing or assault, beat and torture people just for disturbing the peace or destroying property, and would go after men who owed them money or had something they wanted like land or a certain building. But the harshest punishments were saved for the people who talked bad about them. Most people who dared to run their mouths about the Baldknobbers would simply disappear, never to be seen again, or they turned up in the woods weeks later, beaten to death. News about the bloody war in Missouri was widespread, and many travelers of the time feared to go through the towns of Forsyth, Hollister, Merriam Woods, Rockaway Beach, Table Rock, and Taneyville, for the fear that they would be attacked or robbed by the Baldknobbers. There was only one group who dared to speak against the Baldknobbers in public, and that was a group called the Anti Baldknobbers. This group was not as large as the Baldknobbers, but they strongly believed the Baldknobbers were in the wrong. There were several of the members who helped put an end to the Baldknobbers, but the one man mainly responsible for ending the Baldknobbers' reign of terror was Billy Miles. Billy hated the Baldknobbers and, more importantly, he hated their leader, Nat Kinney. Miles and a few other anti-Baldknobbers put together a plan to befriend Kinney so they could later assassinate him. They were able to achieve this, and Kinney was killed. After Miles killed Kinney, he was jailed immediately. Since the sheriff was also a Baldknobber, Miles' outcome looked bleak. Miles' father went and ordered the sheriff to send Billy up to Springfield, Missouri for a fair trial. In Springfield, Miles was acquitted of the murder of Nat Kinney. The jury determined Miles' murder was self-defense. Many of the Baldknobbers were furious at this verdict, and Miles and his family had to pack up and leave Missouri for about 4 years. Even after Nat Kinney's murder, the Baldknobbers continued their crimes and vandalizing homes for a few years before finally stopping altogether. Most people theorized that Kinney was the force behind the Baldknobbers' actions, and once he was dead, all of their motivation died with him. By 1899, the era of the Baldknobbers had run its course.